I was just listening to Ty Lopez's 67 Steps, and I'm on number 5 right now, which I got a long way to go to get to 67, but I just had a thought while I was listening to number 5 video or audio piece that he puts out, and it just occurred to me that there's a lot of people who are very skeptical about these online programs. Myself included, I was one of them. And I think one of the reasons is because there's a lot of assumptions, like you have a certain stereotype in your head about what these people are trying to do, which is essentially kind of take your money, and they're pretending that it was really easy to make money, and that their success kind of came overnight, and it really didn't take that much, and anybody can have the same level of success or anything like that. That stereotype is completely wrong, though. I think the reality is that they have to make an infomercial, they have to make a commercial, they have to make an ad that makes sense, that'll grab people's attention, and that's likely to increase the conversion rate. Most of those, actually I can't say most of them, a lot of those guys are actually they're actually genuine about what they're saying. It was not an easy process, but they're not going to go ahead and get into all the details of how difficult it was, because what are the chances that's going to grab anybody's attention? So like the pitch that they have in their ads are usually something like, I was doing this wrong for a long time, and then basically I learned this one thing, and then everything changed for me. Or they'll be like, I'm going to tell you guys a secret to making a lot of money. They'll just kind of jump right into it, and just all you got to do is do this technique, and they'll even show you like a live demonstration sometimes as well. The reality is, though, behind the scenes, those guys have been working on these kinds of things for many, many years. In most cases, the ones that have actually become extremely successful, that go and turn things around and actually try to offer this as a course or a teaching session or a program or something like that, or some kind of lesson to anybody who's willing to just buy into it, they've put a lot of time and effort and a lot of their own time and a lot of their own history actually goes into those things. It didn't come easy to them, okay? It did not come easy to them. It was not an overnight success for them. It just wasn't. So I think, and they're not trying to advertise it that way either. Like, their programs are basically like, yeah, you know what, this actually took me a long time, but I figured it out, and I'm here to help you so you can do it a lot faster than I did it myself when I was kind of doing it on my own and just kind of figuring things out, and it took a long time to figure it out. So they've boiled down their years and years and years of experience to help you actually make a difference. I think that's what happens for a lot of these guys that actually end up being successful and want to actually teach other people how to do the same thing. It's not like the stereotype is just wrong. It's that they make it look so easy that it actually, they're trying to advertise that it is really easy and that you can have success overnight. Of course, that is complete bullshit, and I think everybody knows that, and that's why people don't make that step to actually buy into like a certain program. It's not easy. I don't think a lot of these guys, the really successful ones, again, who really know the right ways of doing like the proper techniques to actually make money online, I don't think those guys would ever really advertise that it's easy to make money online, or that it's really, you can do it kind of overnight. That's not what they're saying, right? If that was the case, then how many more millionaires would there be? Everybody knows that it's a challenge, that there's a lot of questions that you have to get answered, and there's a lot of trial and error and failure and all this kind of stuff. But so what they are doing, though, is they make it seem easy and engaging enough so that you can actually click into their program and try to make the argument that you can achieve the same level of success that they have. But they're not going to go around. They're not going to go around and say that it was easy for them to do it. In most cases, it was actually difficult for them to do it, and it took a lot of years to actually perfect their practices and techniques. And they're trying to sell it to you by synthesizing and reducing essentially the number of steps and simplifying all the information, all their learnings from many, many years of experience into a certain set of principles. That's really what they're selling you. They're not selling you on the idea that they can't sell you on the idea that it's going to take you years to achieve that kind of thing. That wouldn't work for most people. Most people wouldn't buy into that. But they can certainly sell you on, if you follow these steps and put in the work, then you're on your way to very likely success, because these are the steps that I used. Unfortunately, it just took them a lot longer because they were learning it on their own in many cases. Skepticism is good, but being overly skeptical is definitely not good. And I think that's where a lot of these ads kind of fail. I think if there was a way to kind of start out by saying, hey man, it was difficult. It took me 7 years to get to this point. But you know what? I took my 7 years of learning and I summarized and synthesized and I put it into this course that I'm offering you for like $1,000. The ROI on this is massive. You just need to follow these steps, and again, this is everything that you need to know to go into it. Now, whenever that does happen, and there's definitely a lot of people that are selling programs based on that approach, the problem then becomes the key ingredient is not. This is what I love about Gary Vee. The key ingredient is not ideas. It's coming up with ideas and proper approaches to creating a product and doing all this kind of stuff. The key then, once you have all the information, all the principles, all the knowledge that you need to actually start this successful business, is you got to take action and you got to be willing to fail. And that's probably the second layer of extreme difficulty and extreme resistance, as Brian Rose from London Real talks about. He talks about extreme resistance, which is also an idea I think tied into the Navy SEAL Rocco. I can't remember his name. I need to read more into that guy. That guy's pretty amazing. Anyways, so that is the second layer. Is this understanding that you only really need a few. You only really need to know these principles. Once you amass all this knowledge and information, you're ready to go. You're ready to start making millions of dollars. That isn't the case. Without real action, you're not going to get anywhere. And I think that's probably the more difficult part. It's not even just the information. You can find information online. You'd have to sift through a lot of crap, and there's a lot of value in paying for someone to actually synthesize and simplify the information, so you just have it in all in one place essentially. There's a lot of value in that, but the real value is in actually being able to motivate people. And there's not a lot of people out there in these programs that can really truly motivate people. Like even Ty is I don't know how many of his programs really motivate people. They're all about knowledge and information. But most people, if you're really trying to get them to do things, they need to be motivated. They need to be pushed, which is often the case. They need to be really pushed and hounded by people to get something done. Brian's program is really, really good at this because there's an accountability factor to it. You're essentially part of these group teams. I think he probably learned this from that Navy SEAL guy. You're supposed to work with your brothers. Oh man, this is a beautiful concept. You're supposed to work with your brothers and sisters that are part of a team to accomplish something. You're supposed to motivate each other. You're supposed to get things done together. That's one of the ways, and also all of your actions and all the tasks that you're given. There has to be an element of accountability to it. I think that's why Brian's program actually works so damn well. I think it could use some more content and knowledge from sources like Cardone U, or I'm not saying borrow information, but I'm saying you can implement some of the information that's taught in Cardone U and Tai Lopez. Because when I want information about how to get things done online for building an online business, or how to sell a product or service, I'm actually borrowing information not from London Real, but I'm actually getting that information from Tai Lopez or Cardone U. They just have better content, way more content, stronger content, I think. But there's no accountability factor there. It's all an individualistic thing. It's like both Ty and Grant kind of appeal to anybody who's got internal motivation, internal drive to get something done, and maybe those are the only people that they really want to appeal to, frankly, and that's fine. But I think if you're a person that wants to motivate other people to take action, it can't just be information. It's got to be some other element to it, and that's what I love. That is the most important piece that London Real is really contributing. So anyways, I just wanted to make that point, and that's it for now.